2, 1. Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to our first installment of our 911 emergency series. Welcome to this evening. We are having a conversation with mental health professionals supporting healthcare professionals, mental health professionals supporting healthcare professionals. We've got a little bit of echo here. While we work out our technology, we are going to go on forward because we were slotted to start at 9:11. So we want to go on and have this conversation. I am Dr. Catherine E. James. I am a licensed professional counselor as well as a transformational coach and consultant. And also with me, I have Joy Creel, and that's Joy. And Joy also is a licensed professional counselor. And we are here as mental health professionals to support 3 of our finest healthcare professionals. And so I'm going to let them introduce themselves. And so if we could start with Amanda and introduce yourself, give us your name and what it is that you do and your title.
Hello, my name is Amanda James. I'm a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for just a little under a year. I work in a trauma step-down ICU unit where I've been working for a little less than a year. It's the unit that I started on, and I'm still there. We've currently been converted into a COVID-19 unit. We also are a ICU overflow unit, so we have ICU patients as well.
Thank you, Amanda, and welcome aboard. Welcome to the conversation. And next we have Jaleesa.
Hello, I'm Jaleesa Ford. I'm a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for 2 years, but I was at LPN for 7 years. I currently work for community mental health, and I also do home care.
Welcome, Jaleesa. It's wonderful to have you aboard. We also have another speaker, and she's actually our senior of the group. She has been in the nursing field for a very, very long time, and her name is Lisa Ford. I can't wait for her to get back on so that she's able to share with us from her wisdom. And so I want to, first of all, ladies, thank you. Just offer you all a vote of thanks to say, we appreciate what it is that you do. In the mental health community, many of us have been able to convert over to virtual assisting our clients. You guys don't necessarily have that luxury. You fall up under the title of essential workers, which puts you in closer proximity, which means you're at closer risk. And so I want you to hear it from me that we appreciate the work that you do. We honor you. And our goal is to figure out how we can better support you. So the way that we got here, to share a little bit of that, I was on the phone talking to Valisa, and we were just having a casual conversation. As she was talking, I realized that there are some things that we can do as mental health practitioners to support you guys. And then I went on and had a further conversation with Amanda and then with Jaleesa, and realized that, you know what? I think it would benefit us if we all got together, had a conversation, and invited others to listen in, to join us. And so as we are having discussion this evening, if you would like to share anything towards the discussion, then feel free to put in the chat what you would like to say. Before I move any further, I'd like to invite my co-host here, if we can say it, Joy P. Creel, to share what she does and anything else that she'd like to share.
Hello, friends. I am Joy Creel. I am a licensed professional counselor for the state of Michigan, and I am extremely glad to be here and extremely glad to be able just to meet with you all and to just kind of have a conversation around what it is that you all do on a daily basis. Just to echo what Dr. James said, I am very, very appreciative of the role that you all play and how you all have just come along to help so many people. Amanda in the hospital every day, and dealing with patient on one-on-one care. Like, I applaud you and literally tip my hat to you. Definitely appreciate your work. Jaleesa in community mental health and dealing with the community mental health side of things. And I heard you say home care, and I'm not sure if you're going into homes right now. So going into homes right now. So like literally on the front lines and dealing with people. So like there's no such thing as social distancing for you all. And so just want you all to know that we recognize that. And more than you know, I appreciate your work, and just want to serve you all in any way that we possibly can. So thank you so much for for all that you all do.
Boy, thank you so much. So what I like to do is, I know we said Letitia's signed on, and she says, hello, Letitia. And so what I like to do is just begin with some of the questions that we guys talked about. And hopefully Valisa will be able to join us. I'm really wanting to hear her voice and to see her face in this conversation. So I know she's working with her technology right now, but we will make room for her as soon as she's able to show back up. And so let's start off with some of the questions. I just want to start off, first of all, to check in. How are you ladies doing? How are you doing? I know that's a broad question. It's a broad question. And let me let you know why I'm asking that question. Is because you guys, Amanda's a newer nurse. Jaleesa, you've been a nurse for a while. And my expectation is that some of your other counterparts will hear this broadcast and it will help them to be normalized. So whatever it is you're feeling, what you're experiencing, it will help them if they hear it, from someone who is experiencing the same thing they're experiencing. It helps to normalize it a little bit. So that's why I'm asking the question. How are you doing?
Well, I'm overall, I'm okay.
Okay.
With all this going on, it's definitely it's starting to become frustrating, and for me, even at times irritating. Because where I work, there are no policies in place for this going on, and it's kind of just learning as you go. The procedures and steps that should be in place, they're not necessarily in place, and half the time no one even knows what those are and what they should be. So it's very frustrating.
I can't hear you anymore.
Sure. Valisa, welcome back. So glad to have you back. Jaleesa, I just asked the first question, so I'm going to respond to Jaleesa, and then Lisa, we're going to give you the floor.
Okay.
Thank you, Jaleesa. Yes, I can't even begin to imagine how frustrating it can be to have been in a field that have particular protocols and order and structure, and then you have this pandemic that happens, and so many things go out the window simply because no one's been here before.
Yes,
no
one's been there before, and no one knows what's coming next.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, my heart goes out to you and prayers towards you as well. Thank you. Valisa, I share with the audience that we were so looking forward to hearing you, that amongst the nurses on the line, that you're the senior. You're the one with the bucket load. Bucket load.
Yes.
Full of experience. And so introduce yourself to us, tell us what your role is, and we'll start with that.
Okay, first off, I want to just thank you, Dr. James, for inviting us, inviting me. My name is Valisa Ford, and I've been an LPN for, I don't even keep count anymore, but over 20 years now.
Yes.
So I have worked in long-term health and rehabilitation for most of my years, but I've done home care. I've worked in LTACs and hospital, just all types of things.
Welcome. And so I want to reiterate what we said already. We so appreciate the service that you ladies are providing. If no one has told you that that we are honored by your sacrifice, that we greatly appreciate it. You guys are consistently in my prayers, and the work that you do, it needs to be mentioned as it relates to your level of sacrifice. And so we recognize it, we appreciate it, and we honor you for it. You're welcome. Because of what the field that you've chosen, it places you on the front line. And so many of us get to stay behind our closed doors. We get to go to the grocery store and then come back home. You guys don't have that luxury. And so I appreciate you. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And so the question on the floor, Amanda, I think you were getting ready to answer. Lisa, we're asking the question, how are you? And the reason we're asking the question is because it's important. I believe that there will be some other healthcare professionals who watch this broadcast and they need to know it's okay, that their feelings are normal, that they make sense for what is what we're experiencing. Amanda?
Before we go to Amanda, I just want you all to know that they are loving you all up in chat. We have Terrence Fielder that says, thank you. Someone needed to address this matter. Bless you. Debbie Kokolo says, yes, thank you. We have a couple of other ones that are just saying thank you. And they are so grateful that we're having this conversation. So we just want you all to know that you are supported in this. Okay.
Thank you so much. We need to hear that.
We do. We do. As far as how I'm doing, I don't know. It changes from day to day because I work directly on a COVID-19 unit. So it was a trauma step down unit. So we had traumas all the time. And then I went to work one day and they shut our unit completely down, and we had to be floated to other units where they were also working with COVID patients. And that was my first experience, because one in the policies, like agreeing with what Jaleesa said, the policies, they've been changing for us like multiple times a day. Like I never know what I'm going to walk into when I go to work. They started off saying that we wouldn't directly have contact with the COVID patients, to shutting our unit down and sending us to places where maybe there were only 3 or 4 of us and we had 7 or 8 patients apiece. So for me as a new nurse, so the acuity level of our unit, the most that I had, I think, was 5 on a really bad day, but usually I only have 3 or 4. So I went from that to walking into 7 or 8 COVID patients that I'm taking care of by myself with little to no help. So it's been scary, frustrating. I don't know. It's like I've been saying we are in uncharted territory.
Sure.
Yes.
You know, our leadership, they're trying. So I know my manager, she tries as hard as she can to try to give us some level of structure, but it's so much chaos. It's hard to have that. So it's just, I don't know, trying to keep a level head. And then I work at DMC Sinai Grace, so I know everybody has been hearing our name in the news and on Facebook and social media a lot as far as the conditions and what's going on. So finding a delicate balance between working and standing up for ourselves and trying to advocate for ourselves and for our patients, it's just been difficult to find that balance, especially as a new nurse. It's hard to know what I can say and what I can't say, what I should do and what I shouldn't do, and making those everyday decisions as far as like my health and what I should and should not accept.
Yeah. And I hear you. I hear you. And you made some very key points in that it's uncharted territory. So it's not just uncharted for you guys, it's uncharted for those who are in leadership over you, and those who are in leadership over them, and those who are in leadership over all of us, right? It's uncharted for everyone. And I know, like you said, you know that your manager is doing the best that she can. And you know that, other health professionals are doing the best that they can. You know that. And yet it's still challenging, and yet it's still difficult for everyone, because as both you and Jaleesa have shared, at any given moment, something is changing, and someone has had to decide what changes, who's on first base and what comes next. And those are difficult decisions to make when, like you said, Jaleesa, earlier, when we don't know what's coming next. We don't know what's coming down. And so, Amanda, I hear you. I hear your heart, and I hear your frustration. And that's is one of the reasons that it was so important to me to have this conversation with you guys, so that we could move forward. And we don't know what to offer or how best to support. So I wanted you to be able to kind of share that. So Amanda, I appreciate you sharing part of your story. But Valisa Ford, now, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to be having this conversation with you guys today. I'm glad you gave us the opportunity as nurses just come forth and be able to, just say things. I think that a lot of nurses didn't really have the opportunity. You've seen a lot of them coming on Facebook expressing, their hopelessness, their crying, their just disparity and their anxiety. I mean, and kind of like what Amanda was saying, in the facilities, they're used to having rules and things that we're regulated by, and us not ever experiencing this. Like I said, I've been in this for a little over 20 years, and this is a first for me. So it's the same for our administrators and things like that, not having proper protection. And, and then when the nurses, I see them, they're crying, and, the nurses, the administration, they're having conversations and arguments. And I mean, like, things you just never experienced right there on the floor is just happening. Like, it's just unbelievable. So, and my heart goes out, my heart really hurts. And sometimes I just want to cry. Hopefully I don't cry on the show. But I'm like, I really, just being a part of it is just so hard, because, you want to be able to help your patients, and you feel hopeless because with, not having all the answers, things changing from minute to minute. There is no cure for the virus. And, with me, I work in a setting of the elderly already. So we're already at a weakened state. So for me, it's hard. So the families can't visit their loved ones. They know about the virus and what's going on. They want to ask questions. We can't get to the phones. I deal with usually, honestly, I have like 20 to 20 something patients a day, and I deal with multiple COVID patients myself. So trying to deal with a workload like that is like really an almost impossible thing. So it's like, how do you help the nurses? Because they're tired. They're, like I said, they're hopeless. They have anxiety. I think a lot of them have guilt. Some of them have insomnia. They spoke about, can't sleep. I mean, they are really experiencing traumatic experiences over and over and over.
Sure.
And so that's why I'm glad that we're here, because it's like, how do you help the nurses as they're helping, the families and the patients? I mean, then their loved ones, they have to go home, then they have to deal with, am I bringing home the symptoms, the COVID to my family? Some of them can't go home. They have to live in hotels in their cars, can't go see their family. You got to deal with isolation. I mean, it is just so much. It is so much. So I'm grateful that we're having this conversation, that we can maybe, give them some hope, something that can really help them right now, because we are not talking about helping them later, which they're still going to need help. But we talk right now. This is going on in maybe another month, a couple months. And, how can we help them? How can we help us? How can we, we need something, I mean, So I'm glad that we're here so that we can deal with this, because like I said, we need something to help us through. You know, a lot of people look at us and say, well, you're nurses, you know, you signed up for this. I read a lot of that on Facebook. Yeah, you know, nursing comes and we do different things. You know, we're not in the military. We didn't sign up for a war type of environment. And this is definitely like that. Like, you're not expecting to have patients coming in. Every patient is critical. I mean, every patient like, this is not what, you know, we thought we would deal with every day. And we haven't dealt with that every day.
Yeah.
So just being a nurse and knowing that, oh my God, sometimes this patient isn't going to make it, you know, and then another one is rolling in and 3 more after that. And so these are all traumatic things. And it's like, you don't have enough staff. You don't have protection for yourself to even go in and help them. So it is just so much to deal with. And we need help. One thing I think that they need is to be able to express how they feel, and not be judged, or, you know, or people just don't think that we have the right as a nurse to feel sad or hopeless, or, you know, like I don't want to come back to work. Like, it's like we don't have that, you know, we're not allowed that for some reason, but we are people too. We hurt every time one of our patients hurt. When we see a patient come in like that and we pretty much know what's going to happen, that's traumatic every single time. And everyone deals with it differently, but having to deal with it so much and constantly, how do you deal with that? How do you go to work every day and still have hope when you know what is possibly could happen? We talking hundreds and thousands of people dying. I mean, how do you go to work and vent to people and they understand and just listen and be okay? Like, we're not androids, we're human beings also. I'm a mom, you know, I'm someone's sister, you know, I go to church and I'm a woman of prayer. I mean, we're human beings too.
Thank you. Thank you, Valisa. Thank you so much. Joy, you wanted to say something?
Yep, I just want to pop back in, and I'm going to just keep doing this because they are loving you up both on Facebook and YouTube. We have Latanya Reynolds, who says, God bless all of you and thank you for your sacrifices. May God's covering and protection continue to surround you. Brandy Marie says, wow, I can only imagine the chaos. My thoughts and prayers to all healthcare professionals. Pam Nelson on YouTube says, amen for this discussion. I'm praying for all the frontliners. Somebody said, Latanya Reynolds says, God give them your strength. Letitia Wright says, thank God, the love of God be with you. I encourage you to allow you to feel what you feel. Talk to someone, a therapist, a pastor, a friend. So people are really, really hearing you. They are really, really hearing the things that you are saying. So thank you so much for just taking the opportunity to be vulnerable. And thank you so much for taking the opportunity to speak from your hearts on the matter. As we continue to just kind of move forward in this discussion, just be willing to be open and be open, because people are definitely praying for you. Marla Moss on YouTube says, yes, definitely praying God's grace and protection over each of you as frontliners. Dewana McLeod, this is eye-opening. Thanks for transparency. I now know how to direct my prayers. So this is helpful. This is letting people know, because, you know, maybe somebody hasn't had a conversation with a nurse. Maybe somebody doesn't know a nurse, or, you know, whatever the case may be. And so I encourage you all to keep talking, because the more you talk, the more people can say things like, I now know how to direct my prayers. So thank you again. Thank you so much. Valisa, can you do me a favor as we move forward a little bit? Just turn your volume down just a little bit on your computer, just a little bit. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. All right. Thank you, Joy, for that. Thank you. Valisa, you ladies, all of you ladies have shared so much. It's a rich discussion that helps us to better understand how to help you. And so I think this is a good place to say, all of you mental health practitioners that are out there listening, we are going to put together some support services for the healthcare professionals, nurses, and not just nurses, but there are others that, CNAs and others that have to care for. And so we got nurses on the line, but we are not limiting it to nurses. So all you healthcare professionals, my former students, my current students, my colleagues, all of those of us who have gone through these schools and we've got licenses and we're on our way to getting licenses, we got to come together and support our own, right? And so we're right here in the local Metro Detroit area. And so those of us who are here, we're not limiting it to this geographic location, but we can start at home. We can start at home, and it's absolutely paramount that we provide support. So I'm going to we're going to put something up on my website, Dr. Catherine E. James .square.site, Dr. Catherine E. James .square.site. I'm going to put something on the website, and Joy will put that up in chat. So that we'll get some directions as to how we can best support our healthcare professionals. And so, Valisa, one of the things, I can't hear you, Valisa. Can you say something?
Oh, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, yes.
Oh,
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
One of the things that I heard loudly that's so important is that we are human. We are human. And so one of the ways that we as a public can help the healthcare professionals is to pack our patients. Pack our patients when we're engaging, when we're talking, when we're there, and whatever needs we have. It's just to understand that they're in a critical situation from the time that they get to their workplace almost until the time that they end. And so they are human beings and there's a limitation. So let's make sure we pack our patients and that we go in there with plans to support them to help us. Support them to help us. Okay. And so thank you, ladies, for the vivid picture of some of what's happening now and where you are. So my next question, because my next question goes into something that you said that you commented on quite a bit, Valisa, is how are you ladies coping? How are you coping? And let's start with Valisa. How are you coping?
It changes from day to day. Just really trying to stay, having some hope, trying to just focus on what I can do, now, today, or just in that moment. That helps me, to cope. Is not feeling like there's nothing that I can do, but just focusing on what I can do. Being limited with supplies, help, staffing, and things of that nature, I try to focus on what I can do and what I can bring. And that helps me because, as a nurse, all nurses that I know that's what we want to do. We want to show compassion and we want to help our patients, to get better. So just focusing on what I can do. If it's just, being able to say a quick prayer for my patient, just being able to touch them and let them know that I'm there, that helps me to cope. I try to just focus on what I can bring to the table, whatever it is I have at that moment. That's what I'm going to give them. And I have to know that is enough because that's what I have. So for me, that's how I cope. Yeah.
Okay. So I hear you loudly. You don't focus on what you don't have, but you focus on what you do have. You give your energy to what you can do. And that's a really powerful and important posture to have because what that does for us is it empowers us. Right. Yeah. It allows us to control what we can control as opposed to putting energy in areas where it's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, you can do.
Thank you. Thank you. Amanda, what are you doing to cope?
So at work, I try to just like Lisa said, I try to focus on what I can do. So even with the patient load that I have, I try to make sure that each one of my patients know that they're cared for as much as possible and advocate for them. That's probably one of the biggest things that I've had to do for my patients because some of the doctors won't even come in the rooms. when we have to call codes, we're having to run codes. We're having to press the doctors to give them pain medicine, press the doctors to do more because it's so many people that's so sick. Everybody just starts becoming a number. It's like, okay, well, this person doesn't look good. So, I'm not gonna, we can only do what we can do and that's it, moving to the next person. But I try to make sure that I advocate for each one of my patients to make sure that they get the best care possible. And sometimes that means I have to prioritize the things that I do at work, like the documentation and some of the stuff that's important, but it's a little less important in this situation than it would be in a normal situation. So I try to do that, and then just keep telling myself I can only do what I can do, and I'm human, and it's only so much I can do. And after that point, like, not to stress myself out about it. And then at home, I try to disengage a little bit. So like do something like watch TV or something that just I can just relax and it's not so focused on work, because I know me and some of my friends, sometimes we have nightmares about some of the stuff. Like when we go to sleep, we dream about being at work and we wake up feeling like, oh my God, I'm hearing the alarms going off for the ventilator, or I'm hearing the monitors going off for somebody's vital signs, or you can hear some of the stuff that might have happened at work the night before. So it's like an ongoing no rest type situation. So I try to be at peace as much as possible and just enjoy my family and friends when I can, when I'm not at work, and then not overworking myself, because they want to put with the shortage. It's like, I know how short we are and I want to pick up extra hours and I want to help out, but like, I also have to know my limits.
Sure.
Like I'm tired. Like I have to know when I'm tired and when I'm, so I don't overextend myself. So just marking those boundaries for myself so that I can make sure I'm taking care of me so that I can take care of other people.
Thank you so much. Making sure that you're taking care of you so that you can take care of other people. Absolutely, absolutely vitally important to take care of yourself so that you can take care of other people. I really like what you said in the sense that when you come home, you are disconnecting. When you come home, you're spending time with your loved ones. When you come home, you are doing the things that are bringing you joy and happiness. And that is absolutely vital for all of us to do it, for all of us, but certainly you guys who are on the front line. And you echoed what Lisa said, in that all you can do is what you can do. And I like, what you said in the sense of advocating. Nurses are advocates anyway. It's what you guys do well. It's bred in your DNA to advocate for your patients. And so now I hear it loud and clearly that you're advocating in a different way, because things are not normal. And so, hats off to you, Amanda, as you are working your way, especially as a new nurse, as you're working your way and figuring out what this looks like. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I just want to say, yes, Amanda, kudos to you, because being a brand new nurse and what you having to deal with, wow. Like I was thinking about you the other day, and I just want to say thank you, like from nurse to nurse. Thank you. Cause you're doing a great job just showing up every day for your patients. That's doing a lot. And you're a brand new nurse to be dealing with such a, tragic thing right now.
Yeah. Jaleesa, how do you cope? How are you coping?
I'm coping. Well, what I do is a little different than traditional nursing.
Okay.
So it's a lot of what I do is talking and communicating with clients and helping them to cope with the COVID-19 and everything that's going on, making sure that they don't go into crisis and they don't, have signs and symptoms of like schizophrenia and bipolar and things of that nature. So it helps me to cope talking to them, making sure that they're okay, expressing how, it's making me feel and how I'm handling everything also helps them to make them know that they're not alone.
Okay.
and how they feel and what's going on today. So that's one of the ways it helps me to cope. And also go into overdrive when it comes to other things, such as I make sure I prepare medications, making sure everybody gets everything that they need. Making sure like they have food, because some clients, they don't have family and friends. So if we don't take them to get things such as food or toiletries, then they won't have it.
Okay.
So in that sense, I go over. And how I cope at home life, I try to be as social as possible through video, talking on the phone, through parties on social media, something to just not think about it and try to get the social, the feeling that I'm with family and friends.
Yes, absolutely. And so figuring out how to be social when we've been asked to be at a distance, it's helping you. And so hats off to you, Jaleesa, because for your clients, for your patients, then, because they're already struggling with mental health challenges, this atmosphere of crisis then heightens what it is that they are experiencing. So that increases your need to be present with them and your need to be vigilant and on top of what you're doing so that you can fully support them. So I hear you and I support you. And here with prayer, and again, for whatever it is that we're able to help with during this time. I want to move on to, let's see where I'm at. Move on to my next question.
Can I just interject and say,
yes,
I want to say thank you to Jaleesa also, because she experienced a lot of the COVID symptoms herself and had to isolate in quarantine. And she had found out that a patient she had, took care of, her job called her and told her that, that person that basically had tested, and then she came down. So, and she went back to work, and I just want to say thank you for that. I know everyone can't do that and won't, but it's still important. Whatever you had to do and that you did that, thank you for that. Thank you.
Absolutely, Lisa. Jaleesa, we echo what Lisa said. Thank you for returning. Thank you for returning. Kind of what I've heard also is Amanda talked about the nightmares so that when we know that's PTSD or acute stress disorder, and so you guys are on the front line in a war-torn kind of situation, as you guys have discussed. And so I can't even imagine. And as I think about the words, I really don't have the words in my heart. All that I keep, we've got to figure out how to help. We've got to figure out, we went to school to be mental health practitioners. And right now you guys need mental health practitioners just to help you to continue to do what it is that you're doing. So again, I'm sending out a clarion call for those of us who this is what we went to school for. So if it's nothing but to give them an avenue. I talked to Amanda at one time, and one of the things that Amanda said is that her and her friends keep talking to each other, and nurses keep talking to nurses, but nurses don't necessarily need to talk to nurses because they're saying the same things, right? Yeah, and so you guys need to be able, and you don't necessarily need to talk to your family because that may cause them some challenges, some emotional challenges. And so mental health practitioners, psychologists, social workers, psychiatrists, LPCs, LLPCs, MFTs, MSWs. I'm calling
the whole alphabet, please.
Right.
I'm calling all of us. Go on to
meet us outside at the door and talk to us. We don't care how we get it.
Right.
Seriously, show up at any hospital or nursing home or facility and just start a quick conversation. Seriously, that will work. That would help.
Yes. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for you guys to tell us how we can help. Tell us how we can help you. And so I want to open some channels up for us, for you guys to consistently feed to us. How can we help? And then for us to be able to funnel that help to you. That's my goal. Joy, you wanted to.
Mic on here, running back behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. So back to our, just again, back to the comments. I have, who is it? Letitia. She says CNAs, MAs, LPNs, doctors. She's saying we must support them all. Elisha Turner says that she loves you all and that she's praying for your health and safety. Letitia says that taking, oh, I'm supposed to be showing these. Hold on. I got lost. Hold on, friends. Lots happening. She says taking time to decompress is essential at this time. As you advocate for your patients, you must advocate for you to be healthy as well. And that comment made me want to just pause for a minute, just because like I sit in the realm of self-care and just wanting to make sure that, you know, you ladies and everybody else is, you know, you do have to advocate for others, but you do have to advocate for yourself, and you do have to make sure that you are doing the best that you can, you know, within reason as nurses, to say, you know, this is what I need to do. So wanted to just ask the question, how are you all listening to your bodies at this time? How are you all listening to your bodies at this time? Who wants to start? Oh, looks like Lisa's gonna start. Go ahead, Lisa.
I'm listening. Like I said, doing so much work, even doing, you know, helping with what the seniors do. You know, we're doing a lot more of that because we're so short staffed. So my body right now, I think I pulled a muscle, you know, right in the back of my shoulder blade. So I have to take some medication. I'm listening though. So I'm trying to just be more careful, trying to get proper sleep as much as you can, drinking a lot of fluids to keep hydrated. Mostly just trying to follow the rules, you know, of hand washing, and if I, you know, feel a little tickle in the back of my throat, I'm gargling with that salt water real fast, you know, drinking hot teas, just listening, whatever symptoms, you know, that we have, or I, you know, think I have, you know, I just try to address it, you know, immediately. And I think that's one of the critical things is, you know, don't wait. So yeah, just trying to relax a little more, decompress, like you say, just come home. Yeah, well, y'all probably seen some of the things I've done skating in the kitchen. I like to roller skate, so couldn't go to the skate ring, so I had to put those skates on because that really helped me. So doing something that I really love to do really takes my mind off of other things and the stress and the pressures of it. So I would say probably that, doing something I really love when I come home, figuring out how to do it. So I moved the dining room kitchen table out, threw them roller skates on, and that was one of the ways I listened to my body, what I needed.
Nice. Jaleesa or Amanda?
For me, I'm more so in my head.
Oh, we lost Jaleesa. Oh, there she is. All right. That was quick.
I'm always in my head. So one of the things I like to do, if I have a chance at work, I just take a second and I just stop and I just don't think about anything. Just let my mind go anywhere except to thinking about what's going on around me, so I can take a second and relax, because that's what I need more than anything. And just like I said, one of the things I really do is just talking to family and friends. Like I video chat every single day and listening to music. It really helps to relax.
Okay. Thank you. Amanda.
A little more, because like right before the like COVID became like a super huge thing, I was taking care of 2 patients, and they ended up they weren't in isolation, but I ended up getting the flu, and it was right around the time where everything was coming out. So it was like, do I have it? Do I have the flu? What do I have? And I went to the doctor. They didn't know what it was, so she gave me antibiotics and she gave me steroids. And so I self-quarantined myself, but I feel like I went back to work a little too early because I still had like a cough. I didn't have a fever or anything, but I was like, okay, I've been at home, but I really need to support. I really need to support my coworkers. I need to be there for my patients. So I did go back to work, and as a result, I still have a cough, I think, and I'm still working with people, even more closely with people who are in isolation. So I've been trying to, like, when I feel those tickles, as like Lisa said, in my throat, I try to, take Theraflu, drink something warm, anything I can do to try to combat it, to keep myself healthy, and then, like, just not picking up hours at work, like when I feel tired, and making sure I'm getting enough rest, and making sure, like, even in the middle, because sometimes at work it can get so hectic, like I don't have a chance to go to the bathroom for over 12 hours, or I don't have a chance to get water if I'm not thinking about it. And, like, being more conscious of my body, like when I feel like I might not even eat. So, like, when I feel myself getting weak or lightheaded, like, wait, stop. You need to go eat something. Like, wait, you didn't drink any water. Go drink some water. Just stop. Go sit down. Get off your feet for right now. Just take a second. I might even walk off the unit for a few minutes just to be out of the environment and then come back. So just pulling myself away sometimes and just trying to, make sure that I'm paying attention so that I can, be healthy.
Yeah. Thank you, ladies, so much. And so some of the things that you guys said, it goes right into what my next question was, is what do you have to offer your fellow medical professionals? So what would you share with them? What would you tell them? And so Joy's question kind of ushered us there. Some of the things that you guys shared is that you, in order to cope, in order to care for yourself right now, is you're listening to music. So helping yourself. Jaleesa talked about listening to music and video chat. I'm having a problem with this earphone here. Listening to music and video chatting. Lisa has turned her kitchen into a skating rink and a dance studio. And Amanda talking about drinking more water and Theraflu because she's got a cough and she's still recovering from her flu. Amanda, I'm so grateful that you're in recovery. And Jaleesa, same to you. I'm grateful that you were able to make it through and that you're in recovery. And to our audience, we've got these two young ladies who have had symptoms and have been ill themselves, and yet they're right back on the front line. And Lisa, right back on the front line. And again, we honor you and we appreciate you. And we are so very grateful. And my heart goes out. We want to be able to do more. Amanda talked about, what is it? Taking herself into a new environment that she just needs, if you just need a break, a moment to take away and get a break. I want to offer up to the idea of Jaleesa actually reminding me of it, the idea to just stop and take a breath, to literally just stop and take a breath. And so I'd like us to actually do that now. As much as possible, if you could just relax. I'm inviting our audience to relax as well. If you're able to have your feet be planted on the floor and just relax yourself. If you're able to take your hands and palms and just let them rest on your thighs. And we're going to close our eyes. I invite you to breathe in to the count of 3. Breathe in. 3. Hold for 3. And breathe out for 3. Breathe in to the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Hold for 3. And breathe out for 3. Make sure everything is relaxed. Your shoulders are relaxed. Your legs are relaxed. Your arms are relaxed. Even your forehead, no wrinkles, relaxed. Breathe in for 3. Hold. Relax, breathe out for 3. Let's open our eyes. All right. So even something as simple as that, a very simple breathing exercise can help us to relax. It can help us to recenter and bring us back focus. It can remove us away from anxiety, back to a place where we can make sound decisions. All right. I've got another question for you. What would you like us as the general population to know? Jaleesa, let's start with you. What would you like us to know?
So I had a client ask me the other day, why don't I have on gloves when I'm just out? And I had to explain to her that just because you wear gloves everywhere you go, like I explained, because I took her grocery shopping. So I said, you have these gloves on, you get in the car with these gloves on, you go into the grocery store, you have a basket, you're touching the basket. Now you have the same gloves and you're touching all of your food. And then you get to the register and you have the same gloves on and you're handing the cashier the money or paying with your card. And then you come back out and you open the truck and you put the groceries in with the same gloves on. All you did was just transfer the virus, any bacteria, everywhere you went on every single thing you just touched. Because although you have on gloves, you did not wash or sanitize your hands one time. And one of the things people don't realize that in the healthcare, we change our gloves so much, it just makes no sense. We change our gloves and we wash our hands every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So wearing gloves is not protecting you or anybody else.
Okay. All right. And so you would say then it's not protecting them because they don't know, because we don't know how to use them.
Not to use them properly. And you're not washing or sanitizing your hands at all.
Okay.
So then you go and you touch the keys to the car and it's just everywhere.
Cross-contaminating.
Cross-contaminating on everything.
Yes.
Contamination.
So what are pet peeves?
What would you suggest, Jaleesa? What's your suggestion?
Well, one of the things I do is car. So if I go somewhere or get out the car, I'm always using hand sanitizer. If you go in the grocery store, they have wipes, use the wipes. And I'm still using hand sanitizer because I'm out. So wash your hands and hand sanitize as much as you can.
Okay. All right. So washing your hands and using hand sanitizers. It sounds like if you're going to use gloves, you've got to be the kind of person that realizes what you've touched. And then you've got to take them off, because I do use gloves when I go off, but I'm extremely conscientious. I don't touch anything with the gloves. Like when I'm so at a certain point, I have one hand, because I keep that hand in my pocket so I don't make a mistake and touch anything.
Yeah, one clean and one dirty.
Exactly. And so when it's time, I saw Amanda the other day, and I took my gloves off, and Amanda said, "Oh my God, I need to show people how you just took those gloves off."
Yes.
Because people take them off wrong. They stick it all over.
Yes.
Unless you're going to keep a box of gloves with you everywhere you go with a little bag to put the dirty ones in.
There's no point.
It's no point in wearing them.
Exactly.
That's what I do. That's what we do, right, Joy? We got a box of gloves and we got a zip.
Yeah, that's the only real. If you're gonna use them, that's the only real way you should be using them.
We literally have
your hands between.
We literally have
to take them off and put a new one on.
Well,
we literally have a box of gloves and a Ziploc. Like, we take them off, put them in a Ziploc, zip the Ziploc. I mean, it is a production to get in and out of the car. Like, I'm actually like, when the next time we going shopping, because I don't have to. Like, it's that. Like, to do it the way that you all are saying, it is literally that daunting to pull the middle of the glove down, to not, you know what I mean? To not touch you, to remember that you got gloves on, to not touch your face. So like, I can literally only imagine. And then it's like, as soon as you get out of the car and walk in the store, that's when your nose itch. Like, oh Jesus. Like, so, you know,
imagine putting on all of the face shield and mask and hairnet and shoe covers and all of that and gloves going in rooms. And what that's like is hot, you know, if you, God forbid, you have to come out of the room to get anything else, you have to take all of this stuff off, wash your hands, go get it, come back, put it all the way back on, and go in the room. Like, it's a very daunting task. I think I want to tell that to families, like, because we get a lot, and it's like a really fine line balance between like we know, like we empathize with everybody. We know that you can't see your family members and everybody is concerned, and we want to get you information and let you know, how they're doing as much as possible. But then we also need you to realize that every time that you call us and you want to talk to us for long periods of time, you're taking away from the time that we can take care of the patients.
Oh, wow.
And everything I just described, it takes at least 2 to 3 minutes to put all of this stuff on to go into a room. So, like, we have to really bundle the tasks that we do and how often we're coming in and out of rooms. And then these patients, a lot of them, like I know on my floor, almost everybody is positive. They have it. So we're coming in direct contact with people who have it, and we're taking care of them. So, we're trying to do that, and people are calling us like, I mean, we gotten cussed out. Like I know some of my coworkers were crying the other day because like their family members were calling and threatening to bring up like legal action against us because we're trying not to violate their HIPAA. And then it's like realizing like we can't share this information with just anybody who calls because we don't know who you are. Anybody can call us on the phone and say, hey, I'm so-and-so, and want information. And we, some of the patients, especially the older people or people who are intubated, people who are on a ventilator with the tube down their throat, and they can't tell us this person is okay to give information to, this person is not okay to give information to, like just making sure we're protecting them. And, you have to work with us and bear with us and understand like we're the people that's advocating for your family member while you can't be here. Like we are doing the best that we can with what we have, and we really are, we're the extension of you right now, even though you can't be here. So, support us.
Yeah.
Instead of calling and yelling at us, say, I had one person, I think I had only one family member I talked to, and she said, you know what, thank you so much for what you're doing for my family member. And that meant a lot, especially in that moment, because there was so much going on. And we hear thank you so little at work because there's just so much going on. So just even those little actions mean a lot to us, especially in those moments where, you have that patient that's, you have it, like they're on their deathbed and you're like arguing with other people, like, no, like you're going to do everything you can for this person, whether they have it or not, whether you scared, like you're going to come in this room and you're going to do something you're going to do what you should do for this patient. Yeah. Like we don't get as nurses, we don't get in a hospital, especially, we don't get the luxury of saying, I'm not going in the room like some of the other people do, or, I'm not allowed to go in there. We have to touch them. We have to be we have to be that loving touch and the care for the patients, because a lot of people don't think about how they feel. Like people treat them like, they have, I don't know, I forgot what it was called, where in the Bible where they was talking about where they didn't, the people, and nobody wants to touch them because it was so, contagious. Like how they feel mentally, like nobody wants to touch me, nobody wants to see me, how it feels that somebody's coming in my room looking like an astronaut almost just to touch me. And some people are scared to do that, like how that makes them feel. I had a patient on a ventilator the other day, and she can't talk or anything, and she's intubated, and I could tell like nobody had really got a chance to get around to give her like a full bath, and she cried while we bathed her. Like she just had tears rolling down her cheeks because she was getting looked over because she can't say anything. So those people sometimes get looked over. So just even those little moments. So just, we want to let people know, I wish you could see what we see. And then for the people who won't go home, like it's serious, like how bad these people look, how they go from being okay to they have to be intubated, put on a ventilator, sent to the ICU, like within a shift. So it's really serious.
Yes, it is.
And it's still, there's a lot of things besides even dealing with just the COVID patients. You still got all your other patients. And there's so many things, like you're saying about bathing, like the people still have to eat, they still have to be changed. They still have to get up. They still have to go back down. I mean, there's 1,000 things, and being the nurse, it's amazing because we are expected to do everyone's job. because you, like she's saying, no one wants to go in the room. So I mean, honestly, like they had activities, they don't have activities no more. So you know, who socialized with them? You know, so I mean, if you have all the other departments, you know, they're trying to stay out and stay, you know, where they are, but then we have to take on their job. If you have hospital patients, you know, who's doing, you know, the hospital? We are. So not only are we taking care of, you know, just dealing with COVID itself, we still have other issues. We still have people having, you know, cardiac problems, diabetes. I mean, like these are issues that are serious that still have to be dealt with, you know, every day with all these patients. And still, it's just amazing. So I just say thank you to you guys and to all the nurses listening, or to all of the essential workers. I mean, it is just so much to do. So like, I haven't done any extra hours of work, but when I'm there, I work triple time. Like she said, she doesn't get a break or lunch half the times. Trust me, you're on your feet the whole 8 hours. There's always things that has to be done. And when I leave, I still know there's stuff I wish I could have done that there was just no way possible. And talking about prioritizing, I mean, you have to be able to prioritize and multitask, because you're dealing with, like I said, I'll be having like 20 something patients, and I have COVID patients that I have to gown up and gown down every time I go in. You got to look for supplies. How can I check your temperature? Where's the thermometer? I mean, it's just, you just wouldn't believe it. Like you really, we bring our own supplies. Like that's the only way. We bring our own. I bring my own bleach with my name on it personally to make sure, you know, I'm cleaning things before I even start my job. I spend 10-15 minutes cleaning the desk and cleaning the telephone and wiping down the computers. And I mean, I'm housekeeping. I mean, it's just amazing. It's amazing.
Wow.
Ladies, let me say thank you again. I mean, I'm over here. My heart goes out to you.
Yes.
My mind is swirling because I'm trying to figure out how to support you. I'm almost in tears.
Yes.
From listening to what you guys are saying. So we are looking to figure out how to help you do what it is that you're doing. You're doing it well. And so we're trying to figure out how we can support you guys with that. I heard a couple of things that I want to talk about. Just what we want, what was my question? What we want the general population to know. Well, Amanda, you said something that was so important, in that every time, and we get it, we know it. If my family member was in there, I want to know what's happening with them. And so I understand it from that. But I so appreciate that you said that every time you guys stop to answer the phone, it takes away from how you're able to care. And it's not business as usual. It's not business. It was different. There used to be someone at the desk all the time, or someone, and this has changed. And so we as the public have got to make some decisions about whether or not we want our patient, our loved one to be cared for, or whether or not we want our questions answered. And I understand that that's not an easy thing to, but thank you for that picture. Thank you for helping us to understand. And I so appreciate all three of you guys have said it in one way or another, is that you are determined to still be with and to touch and to make sure that your patients don't feel like they're lepers, don't feel like, they've got some untouchable, uncurable, and that they're just being pushed to the side, and that you guys are advocating, even though you are at risk, you are yet following the character, the spirit of a nurse, the spirit of Mary Mahoney or Florence Nightingale or whoever, the spirit of these pioneers that have gone before you. I thank you. I appreciate you. I honor you. Joy, you got some comments?
Absolutely. Man, like you can imagine how tough a thing is. But when you begin to hear it, like when I begin to hear you ladies talk about how tough this thing is, it really does like bring tears. Like I feel my heart wrenching just at your dedication and all the things that you all have to do and all the things that you all are going through on a daily basis. And like Dr. James said, I thank you so much for everything that you're doing and what people don't understand. Because Amanda, the way you describe first of all, the way you describe the gear that you have to put on in order to go into the room. And then if you forget an ink pen, you got to take it off, go get the pen, come back, put it all back on, and then try to answer the phone for a disgruntled family member or whatever the case may be. And I literally am cringing at I'm cringing at your details, but I'm so thankful that you have the heart to be there. Latanya Reynolds said, "Thank you again, Amanda. This truly gives me a better understanding. I have a greater appreciation for what y'all are doing. God bless you. I support you wholeheartedly. Thank you." And Letitia says, "Thank you for the gift of touch." I think that was in response to what you were saying, Belisa, about, where the patients don't want to be touched and the doctors are saying they don't want to go in the room or whatever the case may be. Thank you so much for your heart in the service. And thank you so much for what you do to risk yourselves and your families. Like, this isn't just you all. Like, this is the people that you come into contact every day with, and you have to be able to say, and pray that you don't take something back home to them. So you're definitely appreciated. And Yvonne Horn says that you ladies are the unsung heroes. Thank you for your sacrifice, because that's exactly what it is. And we recognize you, and like Dr. James said, we salute you. We thank you. Yvonne Horn says, "This is not, you made this real, not just a TV story." And she's asking God to cover you with his blood. And, we don't know what we don't know, and I know that there are so many people who, they're the jokes and people are taking it lightly, and it's not their family members that's in the room yet, or it's not their family members that's the nurse yet that's going through, or whatever the case may be. But we understand that it is real, and they are, when I say they are loving you all up in chat, just thanking you for all that you do, and thanking you so much for being diligent workers. And you're getting hearts, and you're getting praying hands from Analon from Houston, Texas. Like like people are understanding what is going on. And we just thank you so much for your transparency and for bringing light to it. Melva Bradford says, "Thank you, Dr. James, for leading this conversation. My daughter is a nurse who is quarantined right now. She's okay. Thanks to all the ladies. And my prayer is that God will continue to cover you. Blessings." So family members of nurses, like this, like everybody is touched by this. The far-reaching implications are, the implications are far-reaching rather. And we can't help but to be grateful. I know that the family members have to be grateful. And I know everybody is scared. Everybody is doing the best that they can. I know it's something that Dr. James says all the time. People are doing the best that they can at any given time. And we do have to remember that in this. So know that you are appreciated. And Rochelle Chapman says, incredible that you ladies are doing this. So you are being heard tonight. You are being heard in the Metro Detroit area. You are being heard across the United States. And we hope to be able to bring more awareness to conversations like this, because what you're doing is real, and the risk is real. Like, this isn't a fake risk. Like, this is just like your patients that are laying in the hospital bed, like, heaven forbid, but understanding like how close you're coming to this. Like, we know that this is a sacrifice, and we are so grateful. And Dr. Jackie Nelson, who works at a hospital, is saying thank you for caring. So we're just really so grateful for we are grateful for you, and we can't say that enough. So I'm going to give it back to Dr. James.
Thank you, Joy. Thank you for monitoring. Thank you for the very important part that you play. Joy is our basically self-care resident specialist, and she is doing her dissertation. She has done her dissertation work in self-care. So we're definitely going to pull on Joy to help us as we move forward with this. Guys, we are over our time, but I have one more question because this conversation has been so rich. So I just let it go on. I just let it go. I do want to ask one final thing. First of all, I want to, for all of our listeners and for all of those who've tuned in, we so appreciate your comments. We appreciate you being with us for this time. I want to invite you guys to go to the website, Dr. Catherine E. James. It's going to be in the chat, but there's a short website. I can't remember, but Dr. Catherine E. James. So bit.ly, Dr. Well, you see it up there. We want to honor you for being with us. We want to honor you for taking the journey. We want to honor you for giving the conversations. I've written a book in 2016 called Self-Love, a Gift You Give Yourself. It's an area in which I specialize in self-empowerment and love and emotional wellness, which is one of the reasons I really wanted to do this. And so for those of you who have joined us today, if you go to the website and go into our contacts, what is it called, Joy? Contact us and leave us your contact information. We will give you a digital resource that will help you and that will help you to help others to work with their emotions and to get strength in emotion, increase their emotional wellness. So I want to thank you for being with us this evening, and I would like to give that small gift to you. Also, if you like notification of other events that we do like this, you also can just leave your contact information there as well. And so one last question for you ladies.
Here are the key things that we want you to put in that contact information right before that question. Make sure that you put digital resource, or the other piece that she just said, make sure that you put that you want to be on the mailing list for events. So mailing list or digital resource, make sure you put that right inside of that comment box. If you go to this website that's listed, bit.ly/Dr. Catherine E. James, you will be able to see all of everything that you need to see there. That contact box, make sure you put all of your information in there, and we can definitely make sure you get your free digital resource and your other information on future events.
Thank you, Joy. Thank you. All right, ladies, final question of the evening. I know we have kind of covered this back and forth in several ways. And what I'd like to ask you is, how can we best support you? How can you, if you know it right now, how can we best support you? I can't see them. Thank you. All right. Either one, whoever would like to go, how can we best support you?
For me, I would just say, I don't know if in this conversation, but maybe another on your site or whatever, but just tips on how to ease the pain of traumatic experiences. Maybe give some tips on that, or share some maybe positive coping strategies. Because again, like we was all sharing, this is really different for most of us. So I think we're used to dealing with and coping with things, and having time. I think that's what's key. We don't have even time to cope, or do strategies. So just sharing some tips that help ease and the pain and experiences, that we're having, and just having this conversation helps a lot. I think this will help a lot of other nurses and other people that's able to watch this and view this again, that, as we talked about sharing and how we feel and that we're just human, for them to just be here to hear this and know that it's okay. It's okay if you cry. It's okay if you're sad. It's okay. Like, just to be able to have this format and conversation helps us. But again, I think one of the things I even suggested was, like, if you stood outside, because people doing all kinds of creative things now, and they're actually very helpful. I mean, you stand outside and say, hey, I'm a therapist, I'm a counselor, or it works. Like it works. So whatever, God puts on your heart. And again, just having this conversation was very helpful, and hopefully more people will see this and it helped them also.
Thank you, Valisa. Thank you. Lisa, Jalisa or Amanda?
For me personally, I'm gonna come for the physical needs. Like supply shortage is a big thing at my job personally.
Okay.
Because we're like smaller and more non-traditional, we don't have supplies at all. My job gave me one mask. And I had one personally. So for all of this time, I've literally been rotating 2 masks, which is not no. And then another thing I see a lot, because I am out in the public, people need to stay at home. They're not staying at home. I constantly see people in groups all the time, not following social distancing rules. They need to stay home.
Okay. And when you talk about supplies, tell me what you mean. You said mask. What else?
Mask, cleaning supplies, because now, we don't really have a cleaning crew. So like, I think my mom stated, I clean. So, and whenever I get with the client, they come with me, I'm the one who has to clean up, once they leave. And if we try to have it, so if I do have an interaction with the client, I have a mask and they have a mask, but at this point, there are no more masks.
Okay.
So it's just the risk. And that's my job, so that's what I do.
Where can we get some of this stuff from? Like, I know lots of places are out or whatever the case is. And if anybody is watching and they have anything, we can definitely get you some contact information to get the stuff to us so we can get it to these ladies or whatever the case is. But do you have any suggestions on like what type of cleaning supplies? Give us a list. Be very specific. What kind of cleaning supplies do you want? Where can we get the masks from? I know that there are like several people now making masks and that kind of thing. Do those work? Is that something you could use? We don't know. So if you could be very, very specific on that. So if anybody is out there and like you may have somebody out there that sews masks or something, I don't know. So please help me a little bit further with that.
It's great for the public to wear the homemade mask. The protection that the healthcare workers need, because we come into contact much more than just a regular person.
You got cut out. You said they don't provide?
They don't provide the level of protection we need.
Okay.
Gotcha. Okay, we'll make space on the website for things to be posted. So Jalisa, we'll get with you, we'll collect information, we'll post it on the website, and we'll do what we can to move things along. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Amanda, what about you?
I think like, because we can't really be together physically, like just like video call, text message, something, just letting you know that you that we're being thought about. Okay. I don't know, something simple as buying us lunch or something.
Yeah.
I know, like, because sometimes I know, like, with a lot of the stuff people are doing for hospitals and stuff, like a lot of people focus on just the ICU and the ERs, and those places most definitely need support. But there's other places in the hospital that are serving those patients, and other facilities like the long-term acute care facilities, like those places are not always being thought about, like units that are specifically catering to the COVID patients, or places like that. Like, we don't get thought about. And then like I work nights, so a lot of stuff is not open because hours are cut short. So if we don't have time to bring lunch with us or bring food or something like that, we might not get a chance to eat. So those little gestures have definitely been making a difference for us, I know. I don't know, just personal touch, just knowing that we being thought about. Because I know for me, sometimes like I don't always, I feel tired a lot with
Sure.
what's going on. So I'm not always the initiator right now. Usually I am, but right now, like initiating is, sometimes I'm too tired to initiate.
Mhm.
So just um letting the people in my life know, like, this is a time where I need you guys to be the initiators
Mhm.
and, reach out.
Mhm. Thank you, Amanda. That's heard loud and clear, and I'm sure that that's the case for lots of people. And so, what we're going to do is we're going to, as we are providing the resources, you guys leave us your contact information on the site. We're also going to gather the information, we're going to collect it, and let you know, provide a list of what it is, how we can support these healthcare professionals, how we can support these nurses. I'm getting ready to wrap up. Joy, did you have something before I wrap up here that you wanted to say in closing?
Just wanted to again thank you. I can't stress thanking you enough. You have again people, they are definitely loving you up in chat. We have people who are volunteering to make sure that you all have supplies and different things like that. So just know that we are going to do as much as we can to be there for you all, and we are going to start it out. The Daughter Status Foundation is buying lunch for all of the nurses on this line, ones that are here, the ones that are here right now. So, Daughter Status Foundation is going to supply you all with lunch. To you all will have it in your Cash App when the call is over. Okay, so because we appreciate you, and for something as small as lunch, listen, we got you. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And I certainly make a commitment. I've been put on this earth to have life-giving conversations. I've been put on this earth to give opportunities for us to grow in conversation and to have them. And so I certainly make a commitment to continue this conversation. We have named it Emergency 911, a series, and it is much more of an emergency. We really got texture tonight. We really got an understanding to see, some insight from where you guys stand, as much as we can understand it. And so I make a commitment to support in any way that I can. You guys know that you have my love and you have my support, and I am going to do everything within my power to make sure that you guys are supported, from the text messages and the calls and the lunches. And my specialty, though, is this thing right here. This is my specialty. This is what I've been born to do. And so I commit to doing this on a regular basis, to making sure that your voices are heard. And I'd like to actually close in prayer. Father God, we honor you, and we thank you for the ability to come together and have a conversation where it is us as mental health practitioners helping and supporting healthcare practitioners. And I thank you for the idea. I thank you for the vehicles, for the technologies, for just everything that made this possible. I declare a blessing upon these ladies and everyone that's like these ladies, for everyone who they represent. I declare your blessings. We declare protection, Father God, and insight and wisdom, that as they go in, that they are aware and they're keen and that they're focused. And God, just keep them, keep the hospitals, the hospital staff, and everyone. I could go on and on forever with this prayer. We just ask your blessings, your presence, your blood covering. Give them strength. Rejuvenate them, Father God. Strengthen them with your presence. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, ladies, I am honored to have spent this evening with you. I speak wholeness and wealth and healing to you, and get some rest, have some fun. I have been, we're supposed to be doing hustles. I don't know if we're going to hustle tonight. One of my contributions has been to have some fun, is to go online and have some fun, that others can join me and have fun. And so I don't know, Joy, we're going to still hustle tonight? We're going to still, I don't know if we are or not. We'll go live when we do. But One of
We
the
hustling, y'all. We gonna have fun on tonight. I'm not the dancer. My inbox is blowing up. I need you all to drop your Cash App names so that we can put them in. So we can put them somewhere. So if you all can send me your Cash App names, so that we can make sure that these people who are who are texting me and everything can get it, so you all can get what you need. Okay, but yes, we hustling. Let's hustle.
do we want them to put that in the chat? Their Cash App names in the
Oh,
chat.
let's put it in the Letitia. If you're still on, can you put these cash names in there for me, because we don't have access to the thing right this minute. So go ahead and tell me what they are. Cash App names. Or you
I
can,
sent it to you.
you know,
Can I
I tell you what. Oh, I got this little function here. Here you go. Send it here. If you send it here, I promise you they'll get it. Hashtag daughter status. There it is. This is. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, they're putting it in the chat. There's
There.
Jaleesa.
All right. They're putting it in the chat. You can hashtag daughter
Jaleesa put
status.
hers in a private chat.
Oh, it's in the private
I don't
chat.
think we can comment in the live comments.
Oh, you
Okay,
can't.
they
Okay,
can't comment in
that's
live
fine.
comments. We're gonna make sure they get it. Go ahead and put hashtag daughter status. You can put their names in the 2 field or 4 field. 4 field, you can put for Amanda, for Jaleesa, for whatever. If you don't, we are dispersing, even to put for nurses lunch. We're dispersing it even between them. It's going straight to them, straight in, straight out. So thank you so much for everybody who is texting me. And know that is right there for them. All right.
All right. Thank you so much again to our audience. Thank you for hanging in here with us. Thank you for being with us. To Valisa Ford, to a nurse of over 20 years, I honor you. I appreciate you. I love you. I thank you.
Thank
To
you, Dr.
Jaleesa,
James.
you're welcome. You're welcome. To Jaleesa Ford, to a nurse, was an LPN and graduated and became an RN. You know, I love you. I appreciate you. I honor you. I thank you. To Amanda James, thank you, thank you. To Amanda James, who's new to the game, but she came out banging, and she doesn't act like she's a new nurse. And she is a gift to the community, nursing community. I love you, I honor you, I appreciate you, and I thank you. And good night to everyone. We will do this again. We will come back together. We've got much more to share. So blessings and good night.
Good night.